Hey guys, welcome to our review of The Last of Us Episode 7 Left Behind. And wow, that was a fucking amazingly well done episode. That is, for me, I think that's a 10 out of 10. I'm just going to come out and say it. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought the relationship between Ellie and Riley was executed perfectly. It was this really fun friends type date, about as a cute little date, about as cute as you can get in the fucking zombie apocalypse or infected apocalypse. You really get time with Ellie. You get time with Riley. Stormy does is her name Stormy? The
I think
actress
so.
that
That sounds
plays.
familiar.
Yeah, she does an excellent job as Riley, and I buy everything here. It was an emotional episode, a shocking episode. This was a fantastic story from the video games, the Left Behind thing. Obviously, it is a queer romance. I don't know if that's going to upset any mainstream watchers, as it upsetted people in episode 3 when you had two gay guys. This is obviously lesbians, and they're younger. But they have relationships just like everybody else, and this is done amazingly well. It's a touching love story essentially, and about two people bonding in a fucked up world, and unfortunately it is cut short. Storm is her name. Storm Reed, not Stormy. Storm Reed, just excellent actress. Really great job on this, and just this amazing sort of date with the four wonders. It turned out to be five wonders since Ellie was so amazed by the escalators, moving stairs. Yeah. So we open the episode with Ellie trying to help Joel. Joel is fucked up. He's like, I think he thinks he's dead, and he's like, go, run and go get help or whatever. But he knows he's gone, and just as Ellie exits, it is a perfect emotional moment and character moment for her for us to watch this Left Behind story from Ellie's past, where it's a tragic thing, and an instance where she loses somebody she really cares about and loves, and she doesn't want that to happen again. And you really buy the motivation. You buy the let's no fuck this. I'm going to try to find a way to save Joel and to save. I'm tired of leaving people behind. I'm tired of all of these people leaving me behind, and Joel didn't leave me behind. I'm not going to leave him behind. And it is just so emotionally effective. And this is how you do an adaptation, in my opinion, of a shorter DLC. And it was well executed. Now, there's bits and moments here that I liked from the game a little better. But I think overall, this episode does Left Behind better than the video game. I miss the water guns, and I miss some of the other fun things that you can do in a video game form. But this was about as well done as you can ask for. So I came right out and said it. This is a 10 out of 10 for me, and I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I have criticism on is, again, the world doesn't feel that dangerous, but right at the end, we get some of that danger back. And
As soon as you let your guard down, it's like, well, this could happen.
Yes, and hopefully from here on out, we get some more danger. But ultimately, people have to understand that the Last of Us is more about the human story in this world rather than the infected, and this is where the director and where the writers' minds are at. And so you're not going to get hardcore zombie action, 1,000 infected running through the mall and stuff like that. Even in the video games, there was like 10 infected in the mall or something. They were just running, and this is just one. And so they all kind of condense it and kind of focus it a little bit more on the characters and the character stories and their motivations and their feelings and emotions. And this one worked very well for me. This was Neil Druckmann written by, so got to give him credit. Craig Manzin wrote the last one, and he's about to write this one coming up. This was all Neil Druckmann, and directed by Lisa Johnson. So well done from me. What did you guys think of the episode?
I liked it. I liked the way the actresses played their parts. They did a great job, and I like some of the stuff on the video game more, like you said. But I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of confused because, as a whole, I feel like we shouldn't have gone with DLC right now. But like, we should have just kind of stuck to the main story because we only got 2 more episodes left. And they're really gonna have to speed that up. So I don't know.
I don't.
Like, for me, like this, for this just one episode, yes, I do like it, but as a whole, I'm still kind of indifferent.
Yeah.
Well, I think you should focus on this particular episode rather than saying because that'll go towards the series, a knock towards the series that we're going too fast, and that maybe if we added 2 to 3 more episodes onto the end of 9, because this ends at 9, I think this story is important. To
like I said,
shaping
I
her
do like
past,
it,
shaping her character
I'm
and the
thinking
type
about
of
it.
person that she is today,
Yes.
and her current motivation.
Yeah, but
so I think it fit perfectly right here.
It just you can't. As much as we'd like to judge things purely in a vacuum, I understand where he's coming from. It's like you even mentioned this episode was another too safe episode. Like I'm tired of feeling like the world isn't at all dangerous, and I think it should be. I think that adds a really important layer to like the struggle that they've gone through because the world is dangerous, that they are constantly losing people, and they don't. It doesn't have to be done with zombie violence and things like that. The girl could say, "Hey, when they put me here, there was 3 people that got here and they didn't make it. Like we lost a lot of people securing this place." Little subtle things like that to let me know like how serious the situation is. And I'm not saying I don't like this episode. I actually really do like the episode. I just we're getting towards the end of the series and context of everything else starts to weigh really heavily on this episode that I'm constantly having to stop myself while watching this episode go, shit, man, we don't have a whole lot of time. We've showed like very little danger in this world outside of like one time in one place in Kansas City. So I did like the story. I think that the girls did a wonderful job, and I think it is really important to show that Ellie's gone through some shit, and it makes her make the decisions that she does, where she truly wants to help and make what she feels other people's sacrifices mean something in the end, which is important from Last of Us 1 into Last of Us 2. I don't think that.
Yeah, because I feel like the next episode is going to be like she's going to be looking for supplies to help out Joel, so she's going to have to go out and do some stuff.
I don't really got time for that.
I think that the episode features perfectly the danger because ultimately the danger you guys want is here. We focus more on the characters, but it's interrupted and you have 2 character deaths. I mean, these are 2 main characters that essentially die, 2 very important characters that are dead. So the danger is there, and the zombies are there at the end, but it is focusing more on the human side of the story. Now, obviously, we know that Ellie is immune and that Riley is not immune, and so I really want to see what happens next, right? There was a certain part in the series where Joel was like, is that, your first time? And Ellie was like, no, I don't want to talk about it. So is Riley the first person she fucking kills, right? Because they're going to turn together. And how does Ellie get captured or ends up with the Fireflies? I'm very interested in that backstory. But again, when we only have 2 episodes to go through, and then we've got some major story points that we need to get to. How are we going to fit that story into the next 2 episodes when those 2 may not even be enough time for those particular things? But as far as this episode goes, in a self-contained little story, I think it was well executed, about as well executed as you can possibly hope for the Last of Us Left Behind DLC to be filmed in live action. So let's get some final verdicts from you guys, and then we can go into the episode breakdown.
Okay, well, I'm just going to judge it on this one. It was pretty much close to the game. The emotions and everything was there. There's still some tension. A little bit more so in the video game, like chasing around the scaffold, like falls down.
Yeah. Oh, and I love that they did. I just want to say Mortal Kombat. Mortal
that's
Kombat
also
2,
another
they were
pretty cool.
got that in there. Hell yeah.
I'm going to go with the 9 for this episode, but for me, I think it will probably be an 8. But for this episode now, just
9.
not thinking about the future.
Right.
A 9.
I get you.
Yeah, I'm at an 8. I think this one was super solid. I don't think it hit the emotional highs as episode 3 at all. I think that there was a lot of. I mean, it's awkward because of the nature of the relationship because they're teenagers, so it didn't hit me as much as I know that it's going to hit other people. And I think it's pretty faithful stuff. That's just. I know that there is one zombie and there is danger. It just feels like this is another opportunity for them to have at least hinted at that the world is a more serious place, and I think that they keep kind of, I think it's not an all or nothing thing where it needs to be all zombies or all human beings. I just think that the balance feels off for me, and it's constantly bothering me in certain scenes when they're in an arcade and the noise is super fucking loud, or they're doing a bunch of other things. I want them to at least be more nervous about it. So
Yeah, they try to throw in some throwaway lines. Oh, this is basically a bunker nobody can see in, but
if we got ground,
you're probably gonna hear that shit. In a radius. Obviously, I can't hear from here the mall, but still, Alex is saying more infected. It would be nice to have more infected littered throughout the world.
You established something fucking stupid in the first goddamn second episode where the ground fungus that can strange for miles and miles and miles, and then now we're doing shit.
Never really explored except for the one time.
Yeah, and now we're having carousels and arcades and yes, one zombie's there, but it's like if that zombie woke up and then there were some other things that started to happen, I think it was a perfect opportunity to express this new.
So you don't need to see the 10 zombies in the mall. You just needed a few references, maybe some visual things that says that they're there, but at that particular moment they weren't, and they're kids maybe, and they or they're not thinking, and those do eventually show up.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad at all. I think this is a great episode. I just think I just think that the balance is off, and I think what they're trying to do is go, the humans are the most important. It's like, I agree with you totally, but I think if you underplay how important the dangerousness of this world is, you're doing a disservice to the fans who are not used to playing the video games.
Yeah.
You should be afraid. There should be more tension.
Okay. So 8, 9, and 10. That was episode 7. Most well done. However, all three of us are very concerned with the last 2 episodes and the pacing and what we have left to do. And then we know you're probably going to cram in the fact that Ellie maybe has to be the one that kills Riley, and then also how does she end up with the Fireflies. So lots of story bits left, and we are rushing. So episode 7 starts with Joel hurt, and he is just basically forcing Ellie to go without him, and to get and as Ellie is exiting or opens the door, we cut to her being bullied. Now, I don't know if it was my TV or maybe the lights are not working so well, but it was just flashing, and so it was hard for me to look at in this gymnasium scene. I guess my TV was fucking up or something. But she's run into by this fucking big bully bitch, and she's like, your friend's not here to protect you, you fucking... He stole her Walkman. How she has a Walkman, I don't... she likes the classic things. Now, obviously, this is a little bit in the past, but still, Walkmans were old for then. But yeah, so... and then she's like, and you can see, her building up, and then she goes and attacks. She's like, you're not going to fight. You're not the one. You're not the fighter. But she does fight her, and I know they try to make Ellie so badass. I don't buy that Ellie puts this girl with 14 stitches and in the hospital. Now I'm pretty sure Ellie. It's okay. Ellie doesn't have to be goddamn 10 out of 10 strength in every fucking element. I know she's a superhero in their minds and when they're riding her, but it's okay to get her beat up. Maybe that might be, and she does get fucked up a little bit, bloody lip and black eye and stuff. But no, she won the fight.
15 stitches?
See,
she pull a knife on her?
Like, what the fuck? Did she bludgeon the fucking girl to death? Jesus fucking Christ.
15's a lot of stitches.
I know, but all right.
Powerful punch.
Fine, we'll allow it. Ellie can overpower somebody twice her size. Anyways, that night, as she's, actually, first she goes to talk with the officer. So we have this scene of what Ellie's future could be if we never met Joel and we never saw this stuff. And she's in a military school and for Fedra, and she's smart and she excels in classes and stuff, and so she's kind of on the track of potentially to be an officer and bossing around these other people. But if she's constantly doing shit like this, then he's gonna bust her ass down to just guard duty, and this bully of hers is probably gonna be her officer in charge, And so just a really bleak outlook, but somewhat necessary in a world like this. And Ellie kind of buys into this power structure. And I think that she realizes that, okay, I guess I'll do this. Because it gives her a choice, you take the keys. These are your
Get
two
your own
paths.
room.
Which path are you gonna take? And she chooses, all right, I guess I'll stop being like this. But that night she's reading the comics straight out of the video game. That comic series, and She's kind of bored with it, a little sad because she looks over and the bed's empty. Riley was her roommate, and they were the good friends. And basically, she's been gone for 3 weeks. And as she goes to sleep, what happens?
It's a little bit different from the game, but it sneaks in and then covers her mouth and then
Yeah, you
surprise
think she's gonna
attack.
kill something like gonna kill her or
Yeah.
something?
And
Yeah.
surprise attack, pulls out a knife. Relax, it's just me. In the game, I think it was like pretending to bite, and I was like, oh no, she's infected. So that's a little difference on that one.
Yeah, what'd you think of it? Did you think it was awkward? There's a lot of awkward.
little
I mean, I
bit.
think they're purposely trying to make it awkward because I mean they're teenagers, you know, they do will they won't they kind of thing. But then they go there and it explains that, you know, I'm not dead. I joined the fire. I
fireflies.
joined the
You're a
firefly.
firefly.
Yeah.
And they sneak out and they find the first thing they're like kind of going through buildings. They find this dead dude with a hard liquor bottle. I'm like, I'm not fucking touching that. They're like, throw up on him or something. I don't know what the hell that shit is. I'm not gonna fucking drink.
He's
from
mixing
that.
those pills with fucking alcohol. What do you
Right.
expect?
Yeah, and so they grab the liquor, and then I thought I was like, oh shit, are we gonna get infected here? But no, I guess the weight of him falls through the
He just
fucking for no reason.
Awkwardly just falls through the floor and just
Whoop,
him, and it
whoop,
was
whoop, whoop.
yeah. It was,
And so they pick up the hard liquor, and then they're drinking, and they're doing kid shit that we used to do when we was younger and shit. Though I never took a bottle from a dead guy who
Went to an abandoned
overdosed and
mall,
went to an
turned it on.
But that dude, that man, if this like it's Ellie and Riley, but Joe, you take any girl out and you do that for her, boy, it's over. You got him locked
Let's go to
in.
the mall. I was like, how old
That's
are you?
that's an amazing fucking date,
No,
right?
It's pretty sweet.
I mean, one of those would be an amazing date, but she had fucking
Girl,
four
I'm gonna take
things
an
lined
Annie
up.
Ann's. We're gonna get a
Damn,
pretzel.
Riley will treat you
Orange
right,
Julius.
Joe. Anyways, Julius. Yeah, that
Go
was
for
the
pretzel.
sixth wonder. Jump. So then they're jumping the rooftops, kind of heading towards the mall. She's going on this little adventure. Apparently, this is from a prequel comic book series that they had drawn. The Last of Us. A lot of these scenes are almost lifted perfectly from this comic book. I wasn't aware of it, but so they're jumping on the rooftops and head into the mall, and then she kind of lights up the whole mall because the new power, it turns out, had this mall tied into it.
Cleverly written, because a lot of times, and I like to point that because we talk about a lot of believability, like. You're like, why wouldn't this place be looted? Why wouldn't there all these things be there? It's like it's because it's been in the unlit, dangerous side of the zone.
Do you
and so, like,
remember what the line was when they said this has all been boarded up, or what was the line? What it's not boarded
Fedra,
up?
'cause
Yeah.
I think Fedra said that like there's infected, so we just boarded
yeah,
it up
they
and-
sealed it off, and she's like, well, why is
It's
it not sealed off then?
But it's not sealed. It's sealed off, but it's not sealed off.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand that because I was like, okay, they're gonna go in through the front door or something. No, they go through a hole in the wall. I'm like, the fucking shit is still sealed off.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. What are you talking about? It's not dangerous anymore.
Nothing is dangerous in this
Because
world.
there's a hole in the roof? Anyway, so they go in there, and she's got 4 wonders for her, but that's including the escalators, because and then they do the escalator scene. It was fun. The first wonder is what?
the carousel.
Carousel, yeah.
It's a
Straight out of the
carousel, yeah.
video game. It is beautiful. It's fucking cool, and it is awesome. And then the second one is
The photo booth.
photo booth. Yeah, they're
bunny.
just having fun, taking pictures. I wonder where this photo ends up. By the way, does Ellie still have it? They're taking a little awkward, and it's like, get off me. But at the same time, you can tell that they like each other and they're good friends, and it's maybe more. than
and
that. It's a
roommates. They
little
were
crushes.
roommates.
Crushes, and then it goes to what's the third wonder?
Was it the
arcade.
arcade?
This
Yes,
is when
Mortal
when
Kombat.
we're in 10 out of 10 territory.
Where the
for me.
fuck did she learn those
The
fatalities?
fucking line was, she's like, "This is the most beautiful thing I have ever seen in my life," and I'm like, perfect line, delivered perfectly, because I would have said the same thing. So that kind of treat is amazing in that world. And then we get the Mortal Kombat 2
She's got
scene,
practice, maybe. I
which
don't know.
apparently was all ad libs, and it was fucking perfect. They did a great job. They kind of know how to play the video game. You know, it's like use the joystick more and like
I
fight.
still don't remember.
Riley knows the motherfucking fatalities,
Fatalities.
but it was said that they, you know, there's a lot of magazines in the world, and they were reading through gaming magazines. That's why she was like in love with, you know, the arcades, and she never thought that she'd get to play any of these things that she read about. So I thought actually it was Elliot that would know the fucking Mortal Kombat, but
She brought it up.
yeah, but
last time.
the fatalities. But Riley, but apparently Riley had been there before,
Mm-hmm.
and this is we get some story elements. So she had been playing on this game before. She actually busts open some coins for her, but she's like, "Oh, this isn't the first time. This isn't maybe not for me." And then we get a little scene here of them motherfuckers making noise because we go into, I don't know, is it the Victoria's Secret? Where's the infected? He's either in the Victoria's Secret or he's in
Pervert.
No, I think they just walk by.
Oh no, he's
that.
in the
They're
Halloween store. Yeah, he's in the
they
Halloween
just walk by
store,
that.
and he kind of like he wakes up. He hears them fucking playing video games, and then they do one final wonder, which is
Well, they go to the taco stand first, and this
Oh,
would
no,
have
yeah.
that big falling out because this is
You're
where
right.
Riley's been living, and Ellie finds a bunch of pipe bombs, and this is not her running away, you know, for a short period of time. This is a posting.
She was posted to that mall, and it brings up questions. Ellie's shocked by it. It's like, have you used these? Like, this could have killed me. You're killing people, and you know, it's harrowing, and it you know, brings up some drama. And as we do that, she's like, fuck this. She leaves and she busts out, but you can tell that Ellie's like, fuck, you know, I just want to leave her here. It's the last time I'm going to see her. She brings up the fact that she's going to leave. So she turns around and goes back to her. Oh, and then she tells her leaving. I think she goes back and then she tells her leaving. But no. She walks off. She tells her she's leaving, then she walks off, and then comes back. And the final wonder was saved for last, but it was already kind of ruined because she's kind of like there. They've had this falling out a little bit, this fight. She was saving the Halloween store for last.
By no means the best thing. Halloween store's like third at best. Are you kidding me?
It's the arcade.
Arcade,
easy.
number one.
Easy.
Riley doesn't know shit.
And fucking Ellie's like, give me the book. I want that goddamn pun book. There's a no pun intended, volume 2, which they were talking about in the taco shop. But then they do the video game thing. They put the masks on. They start dancing with the mask. That wasn't a video game. It was 2 separate instances, but it was fun anyways. It was well done. And then she's like, you know, if you're having so much fun, you put yourself into their shoes, you know, when you're young and you have a crush on somebody and there's somebody's moving away. Joe, I'm sure you have this experience. You went to camp and you saw this girl and she was
Never
super
went to
hot.
camp.
And
I always wanted to go to camp.
you always wanted to go to a camp?
I
Yeah.
did. They look cool. Heavyweights.
Yeah, I went to camp a few times. But anyways, you know, she's like, don't go. Because she's like, just ask her. Just say, why you gotta go? You're gonna die anyway out there, you know, don't fucking let's die together. She's like, don't go. And then Riley's like, okay. And then so they have that moment together and she gives her a kiss but right then they are interrupted by a monster, an infected runner, and I never really see them like actually bite her, but you know they're saving it for dramatic effect. They're tussling, running into shit, and it turns out Ellie is the first one that notices she got bit. And I like that reaction. She's like, no, like she's just gonna wipe it away. It'll disappear. One of those swipes.
She's stressing out.
Nope, she is bit, and it's like to like put yourself in that situation. You're like, oh wow, I'm dead. I'm not dead, but I'm dead, and it's crazy. And just then she looks and she notices that Riley's been bit too on her hand, and it's fucking heartbreaking. It's crazy because they could have, you know, they had this small little ray of hope, small little sunshine in this crappy world, and it's over. They're both gonna die. You know, us not knowing that Ellie is immune, and I just thought it was well done. And then it kind of cuts back to Ellie saying "fuck this," you know, actually Ellie's reaction to it is anger and destruction, and that's where I get that fucking rebellious Riley and then Riley, or not Riley, but Ellie, and Riley's just kind of resigned to her fate and calm about it. As you get those two personalities, and they have this really touching scene where Riley's like, "Well, we have two options here. We can either, kind of take that easy way out, or we." Whether we live for a few minutes or a day, we just don't give up that time. It's 2 minutes, 2 days. It doesn't matter. Let's not give up that time. And it was, yeah, it's crazy. Well done. Anyways, Ellie back with Joel. She's like, I'm not leaving. So she doesn't. She's fucking furiously searching for something that she can do to take matters into her own hands. Yes, she's a child. Yes, she's young, and she's not a fucking medic. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna, suck it up. Fuck my problems, and maybe I can't do this. I'm gonna spend as much time as I can with Joel and do the best I can to try to save him. So she actually finds a needle and thread, and she goes to help Joel. And yeah, she just refuses to lose anybody.
That's
going
to be a terrible Stitch job.
It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. She needs to get him back to safety soon. It's only temporary though, Joe. So hopefully that's. But yeah, and then we get the after episode stuff. We get the scene of what's coming up next. Alex, and what is that? Coming up
I don't
next?
watch that stuff.
Oh, you don't watch the
No.
stuff at the end?
No,
Okay.
it's spoilers.
Yes, for the next episode it is.
I
But
think
I
it's
was just kind
Ellie
of
by herself, right?
Huh?
I think it was just Ellie by herself.
In the next episode?
Yeah, because I saw a lot.
Well,
of
yeah,
it
she's going to
just-
need to do things, in order to basically. This is going to be the cannibals that kind of show up. So, going back to our original estimation on how we thought things were going to go. Episode 1, we said intro. Episode 2, roaming Firefly base Tess. Episode 3, Bill roaming, acquiring truck. Episode 4, Henry Sam, Scavengers Bridge. Episode 5, Jackson, Tommy, Joel finally wanting to take Ellie. Episode 6, Firefly Hospital, Joel injury. Episode 7, Ellie taking care of Joel, and then Ellie gets captured. So we're one episode behind. So we're losing an episode of what we thought. And then episode 8 is going to be. Oh, this actually doesn't take into account the Left Behind. So that's the discrepancy.
Yeah, we have even less time than I thought.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
think we
what I
have
was
enough time
thinking
to
too.
begin with.
So yeah, Joel and Ellie that's gonna be the cannibal thing, and the fucking harrowing scene where Ellie has to fucking fight, and Joel is trying to fight to get her back. Joel is out of commission, and Ellie has to kind of do this like in the video game, a little bit of a boss battle. And then episode 9 is going to be where Joel, that fights for Ellie in the hospital and all that stuff. So
That's like 4 episodes worth
It
of
is.
content.
I think you can
'Cause
do it in 3.
that last episode, you have to give some time because that's fucking important.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is each of those. So episode 8 that's coming could be 2, and then episode 9 could be 2. So yeah, 4. Yeah. But we only get 2. So I don't know. I didn't look at the timestamps. I'm sorry. That would have been nice to do to see if these are epic sized. But I don't know. But I can. We've already come up with the opinion that it's too fast. They're rushing through it, and that's going to knock on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to seep in here. Like, I do my best, and it's impossible to be completely unbiased and not let the greater context seep into this thing.
Yes.
But it's fucking impossible. Like, it's like if you happen to see your watch when you're watching a movie that you've the story of, and you're like, you got 10 minutes left to do what? And that's what it feels like here. It feels like there is not enough time. We're not going to get to marinate on any of the. I mean, this stuff is important. I understand it. Like, this is true Ellie character development. This is what makes Ellie who she is. But you can't discount the other parts of this that make the series what it is. And because the series is a little bit more than just Ellie. So I don't know. It's difficult because I don't think we should be rushing like this. I don't think we'll get to see any more Riley because there's literally no more time of Riley. I think they're going to leave it off screen and let you just interpret what it is, or there'll be something in passing, and it just kind of sucks.
Yeah. And wow, that Super Bowl really affected the viewership. So I found the viewership numbers. Remember, I was progressively going up. I don't know what numbers they're using. Let me just it just 0.5, right? So 0.5, then it goes 0.6, then it goes 0.7, 0.9, almost 0. Actually almost a 1.0 right there in episode 4. And then when the Super Bowl came out and everybody had to watch it, either on Friday, but not
Friday.
a lot of people knew it came out on Friday. They thought it was still Sunday, but then they didn't watch it Sunday because they were watching the Super Bowl. It went from the 9 to a 3.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that makes sense.
So
Though.
9 from 3, but now and then Kin, the last episode before this one, went back up to an 8.
Okay.
So, but you could see that Super Bowl hit. Really, you do not release around the Super Bowl.
They tried.
Yeah.
So Friday.
Anyways, so yeah, that's how it's going. And thank you guys so much for watching. We're looking forward to the last 2 episodes, and we will see you then. Bye, guys.